All right. Hey guys, how's it going? It's Joy. I am back again with another live. I hope that you guys are doing well. And I hope that everybody is staying safe. So happy Sunday. Happy August. I can't believe it's August already. Can you guys believe that? That's so crazy. I feel like the year is going by super fast. We're pretty much half in through the year. So I think what do we have? August, September, October, November, December. So we have like 4 more months left and then it's gonna be a new year. So can you guys believe that? I feel like the year flew by. That's just me. But welcome you guys to this channel. Again, my name is Joy and I am a narcissist abuse coach. I've been dealing with narcissists since 2006 and since 2017 I have been helping former victims move on, rethink and cope after dealing with narcissistic abuse. All right, you guys. So I have like between 1 to 2 topics that I wanted to go over today. And please feel free if you come in the room, make sure that you give the video a like, you leave a comment, you leave feedback, subscriptions, and also leave a topic if you would like to learn about something else. And also share the video and all of that great stuff. So, yeah, let's just kind of go ahead and get into it. So, actually got this through a live that I did last time. So again, if you do come in the room, make sure that you leave topics so that other people can learn about, or if they have questions in that regards. So the topic was, or the person left a comment. They said um, they think the government just needs to get rid of people with mental disabilities that could have probability of hurting others. And that's just a question, topic at hand pretty much. And I just actually wanted to search mental disabilities because it could definitely be complex as far as like a disability, you know um so we can definitely kind of get into that a little bit here. So, but me overall, it's like, do I think the government should get rid of people that have mental disabilities that have the probability of hurting others? I mean, it really just depends on the complexity of, the mental disability, the severity, and if how extreme it is, like if it's light, if it's medium, if it's extreme, and stuff like that. Now, let's get into what exactly is a mental disability so we can all just kind of learn together. So I actually did pull something up. It says intellectual disability involves problems with problems with general mental abilities that affect functioning in two areas: intellectual functioning, such as learning, problem solving, and judgment; adaptive functioning, activities of daily life, such as communication and independent living. So, just to give you guys an idea. So, for instance, a person with a mental disability could have anxiety disorders, panic disorders, obsessive compulsive disorders, phobias, depression, bipolar disorder, and other mood disorders, eating disorders, personality disorders, which narcissists, post-traumatic stress disorder, psychotic disorders, including schizophrenia. So that's a lot in there. And actually, considering all of that, should the government get rid of those that have a disorder, a mental disability that has the probability of hurting others? I just think that maybe, and I think that they actually do have it, but maybe there needs to be more of it, just more support for individuals that do have the mental disability. You know what I'm saying? And just there just needs to be more of a space where individuals can feel safe and comfortable in talking about their disorder if they want to, because like again, like narcissist individuals that do have a personality disorder, they for one don't admit, or they don't want to acknowledge that they do have a disorder or that they do have a problem. Again, when we talk about narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, those are individuals that don't take accountability for their actions. They don't acknowledge that there is a problem. They put the blame on everybody else except for themselves. They're always pointing the finger, at other individuals, when actuality, is actually the narcissist, correct? So, we just kind of want to keep that in mind. Let me see here. So, and here's the thing, also, individuals that do have the disabilities, like the mental disabilities and stuff like that, sometimes, and this is not making any excuses, I'm just saying for the ones that don't necessarily have the probability of hurting others, because some disabilities, the mental disabilities, they're not really hurting them others. They could be hurting themselves, if that makes sense. So I mean, you have that dynamic going on. So you want to make sure that the person is not only not hurting others, but they're not hurting themselves. Now, the disorders that I'm seeing here on Google, you guys can search it in your own time. But like people that have personality disorders, that does affect other people, right? People that have the post-traumatic stress disorder, that may affect themselves, but in the end could end up affecting other people as well. The psychotic disorders, including schizophrenia, yes, that can affect other people, but again, that does affect, that individual. Now anxiety disorders, panic disorders like panic attacks, that would per se just affect that particular individual, or obsessive compulsive disorder, phobias, that is more so affecting that particular person. But again, because you may be around that individual, so you can kind of have um you may experience the different symptoms, the different episodes, and the different things that could happen or that individual is experiencing. You may be a part of that, unfortunately, because maybe you may be in a relationship with a person that has a mental disability, or maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a coworker, it could even be a boss, right? We always talk about, unfortunately, there are narcissistic bosses out there. There are narcissistic coworkers, or just people that are just jealous or envious, and maybe they feel like you're competition to them, and they feel like they don't want you to take their job. They may not want to train you properly. They may hold back, like you may have questions that you want to ask certain like coworkers, and then they may withhold things from you. You really have to pay attention and focus, because a lot of times, if you're new to a job or whatever, they may feel a certain way about you, so you just kind of want to be mindful and be aware of that. But anyway, but overall, like to answer this, I just feel like there just needs to be, and I feel like there are spaces and places where people can go for mental disabilities, but I just feel like it just needs to be encouraged more. It needs to be talked about in households, meaning parents. I definitely feel like they should talk to their children about it more. Like I said, I never tell anybody what to do. This would just be, if you were to ask my advice, what do I think about it, that's basically something that I would say in that regards. But yeah, so hopefully that was helpful. But yeah, like again, the psychiatric disabilities cover a wide range of conditions, including eating disorders, post-traumatic stress disorder, anxiety disorder, depression, and other psychiatric conditions, as we mentioned before. And then yeah, there's also disruptive behavior and dissocial disorders. There's a neural development disorder. I didn't know about that one, actually. That's see, I'm learning too, you guys. See, there's also a bipolar disorder as well. And to say, like, should the government get rid of them, I mean, to me that does sound kind of harsh, to be honest. I mean, again, there are people out there that have the disorders, and they do harm each other. So they do have places, of course, like jail and stuff like that, to get them away from the general public. But some things that may, if they're not physically trying to harm them, but it's just like how they behave, and their personality per se, or you know um their attitude, or you know the way that they're just communicating and relating to that individual, that could definitely be harmful to an individual, but not necessarily physically, but it could be mentally, emotionally, psychologically, right? And that actually is something that I do talk about in my book. Just make sure I throw that out there. But anyway, we'll talk about that later on towards the end of the video. And do be sure that you watch this video the whole way through, so that way you don't miss anything. But anyway, and by the way, for those of you that like my photos on social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. You're the best. I really, really appreciate you guys. So anyway, just thought I'd let you guys know. But yeah, that's pretty much that. Yeah, see, it says, is mental disorders considered a disability? So it says the ADA defines disability as a physical or mental impairment that's substantially limits one or more major, life activities. It says when job applicants or employees have a mental health condition that meets this requirement, they have a workplace rights under The ADA. Okay. Yeah. So like certain like mental disabilities, it actually, as we were talking about like work, for instance, it could affect, a person's like their job, their ability to work. So some individuals may say, hey, you know what, I have a mental disability to the point where I can't work. So now I have to get SSI or I have to get unemployment. I can't be around people, because they feel like their mental disability could affect their work, or it could affect their performance, or it could affect their productivity. You get what I'm saying? And so, that is just something to be mindful of. But again, if this is you and you're watching, you feel like, yes, I do have a mental disability. Don't feel bad. Like, don't be like, oh, I'm doomed for life. Like, oh, this is me. Like, don't let your mental disability define you per se. But, just make sure that you look at it in a positive way and be like, okay, like I can get help, like I can get support, like I can, some of the mental disabilities is just more so like you have to live with it, like it doesn't go away or anything like that. So it's just kind of like, it's with you for life. Like it could be where you have to take certain medications daily, or you may have to go to the doctor or something like that, or you know or just maybe you just have to do certain things to help like manage your mental disability and stuff like that. Or it could just be certain things you have to do. It could also just be like self-care activities, or just different rituals, or different behaviors, like I said, and attitudes and way that you have to do, be, and become, so that way you can make the best of your life. Because just because you have a mental disability doesn't necessarily mean that you should be separated from society, unless it's one of those mental disabilities or those disorders where, again, it's like super harmful to individuals and you're a threat to society. Then that's a different topic. So I hope that made sense. But like I said, I do feel like the government has certain places where they keep people, I guess, if their mental disability is really like a threat to society, it's dangerous, it's very destructive. They have places, like we mentioned, like jail, prison, certain like hospital places where they keep people, I guess, where they call them crazy, and they have those straight jackets. Unfortunately, I think they do have a place for those type of individuals. And I just feel like, they are pretty much separated from the public. But the thing about it is, what's crazy is that, individuals that are like narcissists, or people that have, maybe schizophrenia, or maybe their borderline personality, those individuals can blend in with society. And it's really hard to determine, if this individual is going to be hurting others. But, see, somebody like myself that's a former victim of narcissistic abuse, I unfortunately got affected, but it was I've made it in a positive way now. You get what I'm saying? I did experience a lot of pain, but I'm happy that I was able to get the help and the support and the counseling that helped me to push me to where I needed to be. But some individuals don't, or they just don't want to get the help, or they feel like they don't need the help. So, and it could have a different outcome. So, you just want to be mindful. And then some people could feel like, what, I did get help, or, I did talk to somebody, and maybe they just felt like it just wasn't for them. So you have those individuals that are like that, or maybe it's just them and their counselor, or it could have been a therapist, or it could have been a coach. It just didn't click. Or maybe they just felt like, something was off, or maybe the person wasn't listening to them, or maybe they just didn't have enough empathy or enough sympathy, so you just want to be mindful of that. So again, you guys, I hope that made sense and that was helpful. Like I said, I do appreciate all of you guys leaving comments, topics, feedback, and all of that beautiful stuff, so we can all learn and heal and recover with each other and together as a community. Okay, because if we're not doing the inner work, guess what, you guys? Nobody else is going to do it for us. So we just got to make sure that we're utilizing those tools and those resources that we have available. So, okay, so this is interesting. What is the hardest mental illness to live with? So it says not only is BPD one of the most painful mental illnesses, but it says it's also intensified by stigma and being misunderstood by others. Fortunately, borderline personality disorder is a treatable condition and the pain doesn't have to be endless. Yeah. And you guys know what's interesting. So you guys know my story. Like, I dealt with two individuals who had MPD, but also along my journey in 2016, I did deal with an individual who had BPD, which is borderline personality disorder. So those individuals, once again, if you're new to this, are individuals who have unstable moods, unstable behaviors, and unstable relationships. So they're a very unstable individual, and a lot of times their biggest fear is they fear that you're going to abandon them. So they try to abandon you first, get ahead of you so that way they don't feel the hurt and the pain, maybe that they suffered in the past. And another thing is that those individuals, they harm themselves. So like the gentleman that I dealt with in 2016, like when we was dating, I remember a lot of times like he had a rough childhood. Like who has not had a rough childhood? Now I know everybody doesn't have a rough childhood, but me personally, I would say mine wasn't rough, but I just felt like there were some things that could have been better. But again, I love my parents to this day still. But he was just saying, he felt abandoned by his parents, and, he felt like it was his fault, which a lot of people do feel like it's their fault when their parents break up, they divorce, and all that stuff. And so he would like abuse himself, like he would try to cut himself, hurt himself. So a lot of those borderline individuals, they will hurt themselves because they feel like they're the blame for the ending of their parents' relationship, their marriage, or whatever the case was. And also, it could be like dealing with rejection, it could be dealing like attachment issues, or avoidant issues where borderline individuals feel like they just wasn't lovable enough, or they wasn't good enough, or it was something wrong with them. So you do have a lot of that going on. And actually people that are BPD, they have an anger problem, because I know that the guy that I was dealing with at the time, I actually met him at work. It was kind of funny though, which I don't do that anymore now, of course. But anyways, so the individual, he would have I used to work at a call center many years ago, and we would deal with customers. I forgot what we was doing, but anyways, I would never forget this. One day he was on a call, and he lashed out and yelled at the customer on the phone. And I was thinking to myself, like, because we were living together and stuff. And I'm thinking like, ooh, like he's coming home to me, like, you know what I'm saying? And so I don't know. I just felt like, I mean, if he could do that to somebody else, he could do that to me. But thank goodness he never like raised his voice at me or had an angry outburst with me per se. But just knowing that that was in him, you get what I'm saying? That was a huge red flag for me. And hopefully this is something that maybe you can learn from my mistakes. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, but hopefully you guys, this video was helpful. I thought that this was a good topic to mention because, some people are curious. They want to know, like, people with mental disabilities, should the government get rid of them now? And again, it's just like, where are you putting these people? Are you putting these people in a place where they can get the accurate help, they can get the accurate support, and they can get the counsel that they need, so that way they can learn how to cope with their disability, they can manage it, and they can learn how to live with it, if that makes sense. But a lot of times when people are like, oh, just get rid of them, they're like kind of disowning them, discarding them, and just kind of leaving them out to dry, and it's like they're not giving them the resources and the tools that they need. You get what I'm saying? Because anybody can make their life better, anybody could change, anyone can heal, but it's like that individual has to want to do so, if that makes sense, right? And then another comment, the person was just saying, like, and as I mentioned, and we'll do another video on this, is like how the narcissists, they won't admit that there's anything wrong with them, and you could also have people with mental disabilities that could feel like there's nothing wrong with them either, until someone will bring it up to them. And hopefully they're not one of those individuals that will lash out, because unfortunately you have that going on with narcissistic individuals, toxic individuals, and unhealthy individuals. So, but yeah, hopefully that was helpful and insightful to you guys. But anyway, I would love to know what was you guys' takeaway. Please be sure to give this video a like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what was your takeaway, what was something that you learned, and all of that great stuff. And as I said, you guys, make sure that you do get your copy of my book called Your Pain Will Make You Successful. I'm going to do another video where I talk a little bit more about what exactly is in it and how it can benefit you and how it can provide value to you in your life and to the individuals that are around you. But pretty much, like I said, it's just a book about, mental, emotional, psychological pain, and it gives you specific tools, tips, and strategies on how to cope through it. Especially like if you feel stuck in your life and you feel like, you don't know why you're still hurting from the past, or maybe you're still suffering from unhealed grief, unhealed trauma, unhealed hurt. or it could be disappointments of the past. Maybe it's like mistakes that you made. You want to know how to cope with that, how to rethink it, and how to move past it. That book is definitely for you. Or it could also be, if you're just looking for a sense of direction in your life, if you want to know, okay, like, what do I do with my life? What's my life purpose? What's my vision? What's my goals? Like, how do I go about setting that up? How do I, live my life like in a way that's fulfilling, that makes me happy, and that can make me have more energy and have more zest, and more productivity and more progression in my life. Definitely get a copy of the book. I definitely think that it can help you in that way. Or not only could it be helpful for you, it could be helpful for a friend, a family member, and all that good stuff. And also, the book is for you if you just, like I said, if you want more happiness, if you want more peace of mind, if you want more hope for the future. I know a lot of people have given up on hope. A lot of people maybe have given up on love. They've given up on themselves, or maybe they've given up on other people, relationships. Maybe they could be like, you know what, I just don't want a relationship anymore. I'm just tired of getting hurt. I'm tired of getting let down. I just want to be alone for the rest of my life. If you feel like that, definitely give the book a read. I'm not saying that it's going to change your perspective, but it could definitely just give you a glimpse of hope for the future, to live a better, happier life, more satisfying. And also too, if you just want to have more self-esteem, better positive self-image about yourself, self-value, self-worth, and also if you want to build a relationship with God, if you, like I said, if you just want to live a life where you just have more freedom in your life, have more freedom, have more peace to be able to do what you want to do with your life and your time, and stuff like that. If you want to take your power back, reclaim your life back, definitely get the book. I'm pretty sure it'll help you. And also too, if you're dealing, as we mentioned before, with any depression, any loneliness, any sadness, any grief, or any hurt, or any anxiety, if you're stressed out, highly recommend getting the book. It can definitely help you relieve all of those feelings, and like I said, have hope, give you encouragement, give you empowerment. So get a copy of the book. I'm actually going to put the link in the description, so you can go ahead and order it from Amazon, and you can also order it from my personal website as well, just whatever you prefer. I'm going to go ahead and put it in there. All right. And I do have some people that did sign up and they got their copy too. So shout out to them. And if you do get your copy, I will shout you out. So that's the beautiful thing. All right. Or if you just want to purchase it, if you like, oh, I like Joy's channel, I just want to support her, you're more than welcome to do the same thing. Because again, you guys, these videos are for you all. Like I said, I've dealt with narcissistic abuse, and it wasn't easy. I'm gonna be honest, you guys, it was not easy, and I couldn't do it alone. Obviously, I had to have God's support. But also you guys too. You guys watch my channel. And when you leave comments and feedback, that definitely does help. It really does help, and it means the world to me. It truly does. And yeah. So you can get the book from either this Amazon link, or you can go to the PickTime link. You can also send me an email if you would like to reach out to me, if you would like further support, or if, like I said, if you just need someone to listen to you, if you need to vent about something, or if you're just feeling down and out, like I said, if you feel lost in life, if you feel like you need a sense of direction, please feel free to book a session with me, and we can definitely kind of come up with a plan to help you, so that way you can, figure out, what it is that you want to do with your life and how to move forward, so you can take action, and so that way you can feel productive and progressive in your life, because think about it, like if we don't have like nothing to look forward to or nothing to strive for, like, well, life is just going to be life. It might be boring, it might be depressing, it can make you just feel like depressed, down and out, stressed out, and frustrated. You know what I'm saying? So, it all starts with you. You have to take action, and then the other thing is too, you guys know that I do have my 90-day coaching program. So this is more of like a 90-day period where we'll talk about, overcoming narcissistic abuse, if that's something that, you still want to work through, or, a lot of times people really struggle with CPTSD. Right. So that's complex post-traumatic stress disorder. So, people really struggle with that because, we develop that not only after dealing with narcissistic abuse, but we could develop that from any situations in our life, whether it was from work, it could have been from church, it could have been from our childhood, it could have been from high school, middle school, college, whatever it is, you could have developed that. But the thing about it is that it doesn't go anywhere. You get what I'm saying? It stays with you. But the thing is, like, you actually have to put in the work. You have to do the inner work. You have to do the inner healing, because some people are like, oh, you know what? I know that I have PTSD or CPTSD, and they feel like, oh, with time it's going to get better. But I feel like people will see, maybe 5 years down the road, 20 years down the road, they're like, oh, I still feel this way, or I'm still triggered, or I still have these insecurities, or I still have these things that bother me. And it's like, because that individual hasn't done the inner work. You get what I'm saying? So it doesn't come from the outside, you guys. The healing doesn't come from the outside. It comes from the inside. We have to be the one to change. You get me? So anyway, I hope that this made sense, you guys. Please feel free to give this video a like, share it with somebody if you think it can help them and bless them. And last but not least, you guys, I do actually have my free Facebook support group. So you guys are more than welcome to join. It's called the Healing and the Recovery Room. All right. I think I have about, 18 members thus far. So, you're more than welcome to join. It's just another space for, if you're just looking to have a place where you could just heal, have some motivation, some inspiration, and have a sense of belonging, especially if you feel like, you don't get along with individuals around you, or if you feel lonely, or if you feel frustrated or isolated, or, you just feel by yourself. This is definitely a group. We don't judge you. We don't twist your words or use them against you like how narcissistic individuals do. And I created the group for that particularly because, again, I realized like there wasn't a place for me to really go or to vent and stuff like that, or just to share my thoughts. Like sometimes people just are in the room, they just share their thoughts, or they just post stuff in there. So please feel free to join the group. You're more than welcome to. But yeah, you guys, I love you so much, and I'm happy you tuned into the video. Give it a like, and I'll see you guys next video. Take care. Bye.